Hi, welcome to Jadekind Gaming. My name is Adam, and today I'm going to be unboxing a couple more of the Gale Force 9 Dungeon Master screens. This time it's the ones that are connected to the Wizards of the Coast releases from 2018. The two adventures, which Gale Force 9 then made DM screens for, that Wizards had released in 2018 were Waterdeep Dragon Heist in September of 2018 and Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage in November of 2018. Which I don't own either of the books, but I'm collecting them largely for the art, as I have a section on my wall where I'm not going to use DM screens as art, and also to see what's in them. I did play through the Dragon Heist. One of my buddies ran that, and I played through part of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Same buddy then continued with that, although I've kind of been absent for much of that game. But I saw the beginning of it. But yeah, so I got the DM screens, and we'll check those out, starting with Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It's kind of stuck together. I gently peel it apart to hopefully not damage it at all. But they do have that sort of lamination on them that can be a little prone to that. Alright. Oh, I was like, this is kind of a boring one. It's just, what's all this blank space? Oh no, that's not blank space. Is that a cloud giant or something? I don't know. But yeah, so some kids looking out of a upper floor window. Some sort of attack on their town. This doesn't actually say the adventure name. This just says Waterdeep, which is nice, as it's really just for, I guess, for any adventure you may run in Waterdeep. Has sort of a little section here with some sort of burning statue and people in masks. Some sort of festival. Here's another sort of section on the street with little automatrons and shield guardian that's being all friendly and handing this scared child a flower. That's great. And there's other, but it's like sort of a parade of all those, I forget what they call them, but machine people. And then we have a section here on the docks with some drow sort of sneaking through the shadows. And I just love this, the artistic way that this is done, where it's rough. That is a very rough in sort of digital drawing. But you get the feeling of all these masts and all these ropes off in the distance from the ships. So, some beautiful art there. Moving to the other side. We get the code legal, which is basically just sort of all of the the written laws that must be followed. Good to have to reference, not just so you remember the laws, but so that a guard who would have memorized this stuff could come up and quote it verbatim each time that it gets brought up. Whatever maybe maybe being done. Just sort of having it exactly there. Because that's, I'm sure, a big part of running Waterdeep with the legal system. We get city scenes. While characters are traveling through the inhabited wards of the city, use the daytime and nighttime scenes tables to generate interesting or peculiar happenings. If it seems inappropriate, reroll, but just sort of the idea of, here are things that can happen. The something happens sort of table with daytime and nighttime just in the city. Help it feel alive. I love this little art down here. And then we get places to go, inns and boarding houses, different wards, the establishments, and the quality. So since it is a set map and these are the inns and places to stay, it's like here are the exact options in the different wards. So interesting. Just sort of day-to-day expenses. And then same as the inns, you get that for the taverns and feast halls. Different wards, different establishments that can be visited. Then things to find. Pickpocketed items. When a character successfully picks the pocket of an NPC in Waterdeep, you can roll here to see what they get. Great! And then broadsheets, so like the newspapers. And so the different names of the different broadsheets and a brief description of each one. And just sort of an image of what the money looks like. So, yeah, that's the first, the Dragon Heist, or Waterdeep DM screen. Which in general seems to be, yeah, so any game you were to run in Waterdeep, this would work well for, not just a particular adventure at hand. Although, as that adventure did, well, other than a few trips out of the city, almost completely take place in Waterdeep. Probably would be quite good for that. And then our second one was Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So this was taking place in Undermountain, beneath the city. So this one may be quite good for just, it might be specifically that dungeon, or it could be one that's designed for just dungeon delving in general. I don't know. We will find out. Not so sad as the first. Alright. So, for our art, have a little adventure coming across some rust monsters. Watch your gear. I'm guessing to be a lich. Or some other powerful undead here. And then under Dungeon of the Mad Mage is, or above it, you have Hallister and Drow, Mind Flare, one of the, I forget what that type of beholder sort of creature is called, but somebody's there. What's that, Manticore? Fighting off an adventure there, and an Umberhulk breaking through the wall. So just some various dungeon encounter scenes. And then we get random events, including magical events during a long rest, so things to make a long rest more interesting, and boredom breakers. Whenever the characters search a tunnel or a chamber that has little or nothing in it, you can use the discoveries on the following table to liven things up, like, a small mound of dung has a key sticking out of it. Ugh. Just an image of Hallister. A dungeon key with no map. So this is the key that, I guess if you have the book handy, you could use it, regardless of which map it is, rather than, they might make you turn to, like, the beginning of the book for the key, since they have a whole bunch of maps in that book. But, yeah. I guess you could use these symbols yourself when making your own map, and then if you choose to do so, then you have your own key already made, so could be useful in that way too, I guess. Dungeon exploration. So travel pace within the dungeon, special types of movement, climbing, swimming, crawling, jumping, vision and light, generally useful. Activity while traveling, marching order, stealth, noticing threats, things like drawing a map and tracking and foraging. All good general things to know about. I put them on here. Hallister's goals. So the different things that Hallister wants, sort of like as he has you in his dungeon. I don't know if that would need to be on here even for the game, although it is good for a DM to be aware of. If, you know, what is the boss that's pulling all the strings, what are they trying to do? Levels of Undermountain, so the name of each level and what character level you're supposed to be at for each one. Okay. And then non-combat experience to help with the idea of rewarding experience outside of combat. Assuming you're using experience and not a milestone system, which I know the bit of it that I played in, he was using a milestone system. So, you could pull a couple things from it for any dungeon crawl, but yeah, this one is definitely more geared towards this specific adventure. And they might have been able to do some things a little more useful for it, but as is, still lovely, sort of a dungeon exploration art on the front, and that's useful for me. But yeah, so those were the two DM screens that Gale Force 9 made based on products Wizards released in 2018. As I continue my working my way back and collecting more of the DM screens for their art, now that I have a reason to want them other than, you know, many people would just want them for the adventures, and I'm like, I'm not running the adventures, but now that I just want them for the art, I figure I'll start working my way back. I'll link below to where you can find them online. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Bye.